Welcome back to the social class, dear students. This is 8th standard social video class, and we have started lesson number 6 from history, and this is your second video of that. So last class we concluded up to this, right? Deindustrialization, and today we need to start from beginning of modern industries. We will see what are they. The process of industrialization started in India from the mid-19th century. So the process of industrialization, okay, it started in the half of 19th century, okay, in our country. The beginning of modern industry is associated with the development in mainly plantation, just like jute, cotton, and also steel. So in the beginning modern industry was associated, and it developed mainly, okay, they mainly plantation. The plantation is nothing but industries was started like jute making, okay, cotton, and also steel. Okay, these industries were developed in the beginning. There was a limited development of mining, especially coal. So mining was in limited development, especially they mined what? Coal. Okay. The accelerated industrialization began with the development of railways and roadways. So why industrialization began? Because they developed railways and roadways. Okay. So due to that they utilize these railways and roadways. So because of that industrialization began. Okay. This growth greatly influenced the economic and social life of people in the country. So due to the industrialization, the life of the people, social life of the people started to get improved. Okay, the two world wars gave an impetus to the development of number of industries such as chemical, iron and steel, sugar, cement, glass, and other consumer goods. So not only this, it gave another impact of development of number of industries. Many industries arose like chemical industry, iron and steel industry, sugar, cement, glass industries, and other consumable goods industries started to emerge. Most mills were set up by wealthy Indian businessmen. So many mills were developed because of many Indian businessmen, wealthy Indian citizen, wealthy Indian, nothing but rich people of our country. Okay, wealthy Indian businessmen. Initially this developed Initially this development was confined to the setting up of cotton and jute textile mills. So next one is plantation industries. The plantation industry was the first to attract the European. So plantation industry was the first one to attract the European people. The plantation industry could provide jobs on a large scale, and in reality it could meet the increasing demands for tea, coffee and indigo by the British society. So the plantation industry, they gave more job opportunities for many people in a large scale. Okay, and in reality what happened? It increased the demand for tea and coffee and indigo plantation by the British society. Okay, therefore plantation industry was started early on. So plantation industry was started very in an early period itself. The Assam Tea Company was founded in the year 1839. Coffee plantation also started simultaneously. At the same time what happened? Coffee plantation also has started along with Assam Tea Company. As the plantation was the most important industry of eastern India, coffee plantation became the center of activities in South India. So tea plantation was important industry in the eastern side of India, whereas coffee plantation was very actively working in the center part of the South India. Okay, center of activities in the South India. Okay, the third important plantation which gave birth to factory was jute. So first one was tea, second one was coffee, and third one was what? Jute. All these industries were controlled by the many former employees of the British East India Company. Okay. So this is the picture of tea plantation. Okay, machine based industry. So we will see what is machine based industry now. In India, modern industrial sector in an organized form started with the establishment of cotton textile industry in Bombay in the year 1854. So in what happened in modern India, so industrial sector it was organized and they formed with an establishment of what textile? Cotton textile industry in the place Bombay in the year 1854. So in 1855, jute industry was started in the Hooghly Valley at Rishra near Calcutta. So in 1855 what happened? They started industry in Hooghly Valley, okay, at Rishra near Calcutta. The first paper mill was started in Ballygoing near Calcutta in the year 1870. The cotton mills were dominated by Indian enterprises and the jute mills were owned by the British capitalists. Cotton mills were opened in Bombay and Ahmedabad and jute mills proliferated. Proliferated, right? Yes, that is proliferated, right? Proliferated on the Hooghly River banks. The woolen and the leather factories became prominent in Kanpur. Next one is heavy industries. The heavy industries included the iron and steel industry. Steel was first manufactured by modern methods of cutlery in 1874. Iron and steel industries began rooted in the Indian soil in the beginning of 20th century. However, the credit for the development of large scale manufacture of steel in India goes to Jamshedji Tata. The Tata Iron and Steel Company, that is TISCO, was set up in 1907 at Jamshedpur. It started producing pig iron in 1911 and steel ingots in 1912. So you could see the picture of TISCO, Jamshedpur. What is TISCO? Tata Iron and Steel Company. Okay, TISCO. This is the picture of that. Next, growth of modern industry. The length of railways increased from 2,573 km in 1861 to 55,773 km in 1914. Opening of the Suez Canal also shortened the distance between Europe and India by about 4,830 kilometers. This reduced distance facilitated further industrialization of India. As a result of Swadeshi movement, the cotton mills increased from 194 to 273 and jute mills from 36 to 64. The British had consolidated the power in India and thereby attracted large number of foreign entrepreneurs and capital, particularly from England. Foreign capitalists were attracted to Indian industry as it held the prospect of high profit. Labor was extremely cheap. Raw materials were cheaply available. India and its neighbors provided a ready market. So, growth of modern industry, how it developed, okay, its length got developed year by year, okay, and they opened many industries and they improved it and they enlarged it, okay. So, many facilitation got introduced in industries, okay, as well as Swadeshi mill movement, okay, the cotton mills they increased from 194 to 273 and jute mills it got increased from 36 to 64. Okay, many British they consolidated all the power in India and they attracted large number of foreign entrepreneurs, okay, and capital particularly from England, okay. Foreign capitalists were attracted towards Indian industry because Indian industry slowly gradually got developed, okay, as it held the prospect of high profit. They earned more profit out of all the industries. Labor was extremely cheap. All the laborers, they worked for the cheaper rate, cheaper salary, wages. Okay. Raw materials were also very cheaply available. India and its neighbors provided a ready market. Okay. Next one is Confederation of Indian Industry, CII. The Confederation of Indian Industry is a business association in India. What is it? It is a business association in India. What is Confederation of Indian Industry? CII is a non-government, not-for-profit, industry-led and industry-managed organization. So, what is CII? Confederation of Indian Industry. It is a non-government. Okay, non-government, they say is NGO, right? Non-government organization, right? Or this works for not profit. Its motto is not earning profit, okay, not for profit. Industry led and industry managed organization. It is a industrial managed organization. What is it? Confederation of Indian Industry, that is CII. It was founded in the year 1985. It has over 9,000 members from the private as well as public sector. They include 9,000 members, and it includes private as well as public sectors, including small and medium enterprises. Okay, SME, the small medium enterprises, and multinational corporation, MNCs. Got it? Next, industrial growth in India. To realize the dream of development of industries, Indian government adopted certain industrial policies and 5-year plans. So, in order to achieve the dream and development of the industries, the Indian government, they adopted certain policies, industrial policies, for the period of 5-year plan. One of the most important innovations in the industrial field after independence has been the introduction of the 5-year plans and the direct participation in industry by the government as expressed in the Industrial Policy Resolution of 1948. This resolution delineated the role of the state in the industrial development, both as the entrepreneur and as an authority. As per the Industrial Policy Resolution 1956, industries were classified into 3 categories. What were they? Yes, 3 categories. First one is Schedule A. Only the government can handle these industries. Schedule A category, only government can handle these industries. Okay. Some of these are atomic energy, electrical, iron and steel, and other industries. Okay. This is Schedule A. Next one is Schedule B. These comprise road and sea transportation, machine tools, aluminum, chemicals including plastics and fertilizers, ferroalloys, and certain types of mining. Okay, these industries are comprised of road and sea transportation, okay, and it includes what? Machine tools, aluminum, chemicals including what? Plastic and fertilizers, ferroalloys, and certain types of mining. Okay. Last one is Schedule C. Under this category, the remaining industries and left to the private sector. So, Schedule C category comes under private sector. Next one is classification of industries. What are the classification of industries? On the basis of raw materials used, industries can be classified into agro-based and mineral-based. On the basis of raw materials, industries can be classified into how many? 2. One is agro-based, second one is what? Mineral-based. According to their role, it can be classified into basic and key industries. So, according to their role, what they are classifying? They are classifying into basic and key industries. Okay, there are 2 kinds of industries on the basis of raw material. What were they? First one is agro-based, second one is mineral-based. Okay, according to their role, it can be classified into 2. What were they? First one is basic, second one is key industries. Got it? Next, coming to the second point. On the basis of ownership, it can be classified into public sector, private sector, joint sector, and cooperative sector. 4 kinds of sectors on the basis of ownership. What were they? Public sector, private sector, joint sector and cooperative sector. Got it? Yes. Next one comes phases of industrial development in India. So, industrial development during 1950s to 1965. During this phase, a majority of consumer goods were produced in India. So, during 1950s to 1965, majority of consumer goods were produced in our country. The industrial sector was underdeveloped with weak infrastructures. So, during these periods, industrial sectors was not that much developed. It was underdeveloped and it was not having proper infrastructures. Okay, it was very weak in infrastructure. Technical skills were in short supply. So, all the technical skills were also in very short supply. The first 3 5-year plans were very important because their aim was to build a strong industrial base on independent India. So, first 3 5-year plans, it was very important because their aim was to build up a strong industrial base in our country. Okay. These plans mostly focused on the development of capital goods sector. As a result, this phase witnessed a strong acceleration in the growth rate of production. Second one is industrial development during 1965 to 1980. At the first 3 5-year plans mostly focused on the development of the capital goods sector, the consumer goods sector was neglected. So, the consumer goods sector was neglected during this period from 1965 to 1980. The consumer goods sector is the backbone of rural economy. As the result, there was a fall in the growth rate of industrial production. So, this period is marked as the period of structural retrogression. C1 is industrial development during 1980s till 1991. The period of the 1980s can be considered as the period of the industrial recovery. This period witnessed quite a healthy industrial growth. D1 industrial development post during 1991 reforms. The year 1991 ushered a new era of the economic liberalization. India took major decisions to improve the performance of the industrial sector. The 10th and 11th 5-year plans witnessed a high growth rate of industrial production. The abolition of industrial licensing, dismantling of price controls, dilution of reservation of small scale industries and virtual abolition of monopoly law enabled Indian industry to flourish. The new policy welcomes foreign investments. So, now you can see the map from page number 63 in your book. So, these are the places of industries. What are the places they have given? New Delhi, Kanpur, okay. This side you can see Jamshedpur, here Katli, Rishtra, Calcutta, Decca, right. Assam you can see here, and here all the pink color dotted ones are the places of industries, okay. Ahmedabad, okay, Saurashtra, Bombay. So, these were the places of industries during this phase. Okay, next comes modernization. India has now a large variety of industries producing goods of varied nature, which shows a high degree of modernization. So, modernization, India has improved in large varieties of industries, right. What does it produce? It produces varieties of goods and products, right, varied nature, okay, which it showed a high degree of modernization. Some modern industries have really grown and they are competing effectively with the outside world. So, many industries, many modern industries, they are really grown in a peak, a higher development, and they were competing effectively with the outside of the world. This has reduced our dependence greatly on foreign experts and technologists. On the contrary, India is exporting trained personnel to relatively less developed countries. The term information technology includes computer and communication technology along with software. Along with three sector model of primary, secondary and tertiary industries, a fourth sector, information related industries, has emerged. So there were three sectors, right? Primary, secondary and tertiary sectors. Along with that, fourth sectors got included. What was that? Information related industry. Okay, the knowledge economy depicts the automation of labor intensive manufacturing and service activities, as well as growth in new service industries such as healthcare, distance education, software production and multimedia entertainment. Next one is self-reliance. Another positive aspect of industrial growth is the attainment of the goal of self-reliance. We have achieved self-reliance in machinery, plant and other equipment. Today, the bulk of equipment required for industrial and infrastructural development is produced within the country. The Indian road network has become one of the largest in the world. Government efforts led to the expansion of the network of national highways, state highways and major district roads, which in turn has directly contributed to industrial growth. As India needs power to drive its growth engine, it has triggered a noteworthy improvement of availability of energy. After almost 7 decades of independence, India has emerged as the third largest producer of electricity in Asia. So next, coming to conclusion. Industrialization is an important component of economic growth. India's industrial expansion over the planned period presents a mixed picture. Compared to the pre-independence level, industrial growth during the 5-year planned periods is phenomenal. Recap of the lesson. The history of Indian industry dates back to the history of humankind. The crafts in India has a rich history. Indian handicrafts that had made the country famous collapsed under the colonial rule. The process of industrialization started in India from the mid of 19th century. In India, modern industrial sector in an organized form started with the establishment cotton textile industry. Confederation of Indian Industry is a non-government, not-for-profit, industry-led and industry-managed organization. So, we have completed this lesson, children. Go through the lesson and take care. Thank you.